Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about right hand techniques for playing mandolin. I'm going to start by talking about the mandolin players that were the most impactful on me as a self-taught musician. A lot of my time was spent on YouTube watching other mandolin players play and trying to analyze what they're doing with their right hand and trying to figure out techniques that way. Also, I spend a lot of time at festivals in person watching people play. I'd say those are definitely going to be huge resources for someone at the beginner level. Go see how other people do it. A lot of times this is going to boil down to what is comfortable to you and what makes you successful as a musician, but really and truly you should be looking to your peers, which other musicians are your peers, and seeing what they are doing and what makes them successful. The first mandolin player we're going to start with is going to be Steffy. He's the most successful traditional mandolin player in the early 2000s bluegrass scene, and his right hand technique really made me focus on what I was doing with my right hand because it was not what he was doing with his right hand. Steffy's technique, as I understand it, is to use the pinky and ring finger to create kind of a pocket there where you're not putting weight on your bridge. Avoiding putting weight on your bridge also creates tonal advantages, but I am extremely sloppy at this technique. Here is a freeze frame of the pocket you are trying to create with your right hand. Up next, let's talk about my favorite mandolin players, Sam Bush and David Grisman. Honestly, they are like two sides of a coin in that their right hand technique is completely opposite. Sam is much more aggressive, David is much more soft. They both get really excellent tone out of their instruments, and they are both Hall of Fame mandolin players. But more importantly for me, they introduced me to someone who I think is probably the most impactful mandolin player of all time, and that would be Jethro Burns. At the same time that Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys were gaining notoriety throughout the 50s and 60s, there was a mandolin player in Nashville by the name of Jethro Burns who was refining this right-hand floating technique that would then be used to do cross-picking and a lot of other modern techniques still to this day. A lot of that can be stemmed back to Jethro and what he did and how he refined that technique. Here you can see my right hand. I'm still trying to create that pocket like we were talking about with the Steffy technique, but I'm not actually planting my ring finger or my pinky. And as you can see, I'm using the armrest to rest my forearm, so a lot of the action here is coming from my wrist itself. There are a ton of great mandolin players to draw inspiration from when it comes to right hand technique. Tim O'Brien, Sierra Hull, Jacob Jolliffe, these are all going to be people that I look to on a daily basis to try to figure out what are these people doing and how can I learn from them. My favorite advice I've ever been given is from a mandolin content creator on YouTube named David Benedict. On one of his live streams, he talked about right hand techniques, and I asked him if he had any advice for someone at the intermediate or advanced level, and he said that when you're playing with your right hand, you want to kind of create a circle, and the idea is to not overextend that circle and get out of position, which is what I think we do a lot as musicians. We try to make music too complex and we just kind of get ourselves out of position. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like more information on right hand techniques for playing mandolin, or you just like to support the channel, please subscribe to the Patreon. Also, like and share this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys.